Very good to be here. Thank you so much for having me. So as the topic suggests, word chaos, the problem with chaos is it is chaotic. That's why it's called chaos. There is no rule to chaos. There is no pattern to chaos. There is no script to chaos. There is no method to chaos. But in the word chaos lies the biggest opportunity. Because the moment you say there is no rule, you can write a rule. The moment you say there is no script, you can write a script. The moment you say there is no method, you can create a method. So by definition, that is where the opportunity is. And when I say chaos brings opportunity, I'm not saying it's sometime chaos brings opportunity. I'm not saying many a times chaos brings opportunity. I'm saying every single time chaos is an opportunity. It all depends how you take it. Typically, when chaos happens, and it does happen, I have yet to come across a person in my life who has not had chaos and crisis in his life. We all wish and pray that life is a straight line, and it goes as per a script that we possibly want it to be, but sadly, it doesn't happen, or maybe excitedly it doesn't happen. And the real trick is what to do when you are hit with chaos. And there are 2 or 3 mindsets, to me 2 critical ones, but possibly a third one as well. So there is a mindset that happens, or आजकल भी हम देख रहे हैं, there is a war happening around the world. And the mindset could be, what can I do? मैं क्या करूं जी, जंग हो रही है, कोविड आ गया, कोल्ड वॉर हो गई, बारिश हो गई, पानी जमा हो गया, मैं क्या करूं, मैंने थोड़ी किया. And that's a mindset that, by the way, is prevalent in majority of people when they are hit with chaos. But then there is another mindset, and that says, what I can do in this chaos. मैं क्या कर सकता हूं? And these are 2 completely different mindsets. One is, what can I do? That's a defeatist mindset. That's a victim mindset. That's a mindset which drags you behind. You always get to see the rear view the moment you get into this mindset. The moment you say, what I can do, you are looking at the windscreen. You are looking forward. You are going ahead. And people who look ahead are the ones who reach destination. Exactly the way when you drive a bike or when you drive a car, how many times you look into the rear view? And how many times you look at the windscreen? What gets you to the destination? Is it the rear view or is it the front view? And life is no different. So I'll just share a couple of stories from my life, as well as something that I learned very recently. It's very inspiring. But it tells you how you can work through the chaos and literally write your own script, which impacts and creates a new world. And a lot of it is driven by why you exist. So you've got to have a purpose in life, or especially because young बच्चे बैठे में, आपका purpose in life कभी भी, it should never be earning money. That cannot be your purpose in life. What you do with money is what your purpose in life is. And very critical that we understand the difference between the two. So I met someone I know quite well, but sadly I was not in touch for almost a decade, possibly more. He called me one day talking about his startup and wanted to give him some advice. And he came to me, changed man compared to when I met him maybe 10 or 12 years ago, and I asked him what happened. He said, he was a stage 4 cancer survivor. Doctors told him, you have 3 months to live. And this is a rare cancer which is non-treatable, right? Anyone in his place would have given up, because more or less doctors wrote his death sentence. And they said, this is it. Instead, he stood up and he said, I'll fight. He started doing research and found out that there is a hospital in Boston which is doing a trial for a medication which is under FDA, and US में एक वो beta testing के process से गुजरता है before a medicine gets approved. He didn't have money, but he had skills. So he started installing towers in Afghanistan, telecom towers, and made money. He needed $50,000, almost got there within a period of few days and months. Applied for the visa, goes to the visa interview, the visa got rejected. Despite the fact he telling them the story that I have maybe 2 months left by then or 1.5 months left by then. Came back, could have given up. Chaos makes you go into two kind of mindset. What can I do versus what I can do, right? Wrote a letter to the ambassador in Pakistan explaining what has happened, saying I have 90 or 45 days left of my life, these are the reports, and I need to go to Boston. Got a call from US, got his visa, landed in Boston. Goes to the hospital, but because there was a time lapse, by the time he reached hospital, they were out of the medication, और जितने उनके test patients होने थे वो सब खत्म हो गए. So there was no treatment available. And then a doctor came to him and said, by the way, there is a hospital in St. Louis that you can go to, and they are currently taking patients for a similar medication trial. So goes to St. Louis, luckily got admitted in the hospital. 21 days he spent. He said second or third day, I saw sometime I would hear a bell ringing in the hospital, right? And I didn't know what is it. So I go to the doctor and I say, what is this bell for? Says, whoever comes to this hospital, if they get treated and if they become better and cancer-free, then before they leave, they ring the bell. And that's a signal, woohoo, I've done it, right? He told the doctor, I'll ring the bell. And 21 days later, he rang the bell. Today, he runs 2 startups. Brilliant story. Chaos is an opportunity. Chaos always allows you to write your own script, right? Go back 1999, I used to work for a corporate, very large MNC tech company called NCR Corporation. 99, those of you who may not know the history, we went nuclear, so we got sanctioned, right? So hence, the business is tanked and everything was closing down more or less. So I was growing up in my career at a reasonably senior level, but I was not the CEO or the country head. My boss called me and he said, Veqar, I have a good news and a bad news. Which one you want to hear first? And I said, give me the good news. He said, good news is you are becoming the country head. And I said, good, what's the bad news? He said, bad news is that we are closing down NCR in Pakistan. And you have 1 year to close it down and we'll move you to the Gulf. And so it was more bad news than good news, more or less. And I said, is the decision final or can I do something about it? Chaos. And he said, no, these are business decisions, so if business picks up, everything can reverse. I said, how much time do I have? He said, 12 months. So 1999, a company, an MNC, deciding to close from Pakistan. I had 1 year. We said, what I can do. And I would not let it close. And I would make it grow instead. Fast forward 5 years, NCR was the first multinational in Pakistan to set up a global delivery center. Nobody has ever done it, right? 400 people serving around the world and implementing a complex data warehousing technology around top customers around the world. We were the best country within NCR's 120 countries operation and top tech company in Pakistan. And the journey moved on. Chaos brings opportunity. Not sometime, not many a time. Every single time. 2005, I leave NCR and join Nokia. So I moved from a tech industry to a telecom industry. And this was a marked transformation for me because I had done 19 years of my career by then already. And telecom is a different industry. Of course, both are extremely technology driven, but they work through different kind of technology. And it was my 4th day in NCR. And interestingly, I was taking a quality presentation and I get a call from our customer and saying, Veqar, not your fault, but something has happened which has not happened in his career, and he was the president of one of the European telecom company that came to Pakistan. He said, your towers have fallen down. These are 60 meters steel structure falling down, and 3 towers fell down. Luckily, nobody got injured or no casualties. It was crisis like nothing I could imagine. The buildings got broken where, the tower fell down. All I did was what I can do. I went to the rooftop of that building. I didn't know how the towers worked. I didn't know how they were structured. I didn't know the technology behind it. I spent almost 4 to 5 hours on that rooftop learning everything. What happened, why it happened, what can we do to fix it. Next day onwards, I went to every rooftop that Nokia had installed its tower and made sure everything got fixed within 2 months across the country. 6 months later, right, and this again is a time where the customer wrote a letter to Nokia global headquarters saying we'll blacklist you and we'll not do business, and this was like many 100 million euros kind of transactions. And 6 months down the road, Pakistan became the Europe, Middle East, Africa delivery center for Nokia, because everyone realized this team has the resilience, they can manage the crisis, they can manage the chaos, and they can create their own order. Today again, Nokia's Europe, Middle East, Africa delivery center exists in Pakistan, and that's the key reason Nokia stayed in Pakistan, by the way. So the point, ladies and gentlemen, I'm making is it is up to us. Chaos can get you into a victim mindset, and you will find a lot of excuses to stay in that mindset. But chaos also brings opportunity to mark your success, to define your success, to write your own script. आप अपना order लिख सकते हैं. आपकी choice है whether you want to go with excuses, और ज़िंदगी में ये याद रखें कि either you have success or you have excuses. You can't have both. And every individual, every company needs to pick his journey. Will you have excuses or will you have success? The moment you say, I'll have success, you will handle excuses and you'll get rid of them, and you'll always have a windscreen view rather than a rear view. One of the most underrated skill that gets tested, and for especially the young people because of the AI disruption that is happening around the world, I would say work on this skill, because many things are being disrupted in a positive way in my view, and many things will get disrupted. You've got to learn how to problem solve. You've got to be always problem solving, always find new methods. Many a times, by the way, you reach your destination exactly on the road that you decided to take, and it will take you to your destiny. Majority of times, when you are on the road, it creates new roads for you. It creates new avenues for you. And many a time, your destiny is not defined by the road you chose. It is defined because you were on the road. And it comes from roads which you never attempted to take. Thank you so very much.